Okay, so in Where Are We Really? We've looked at a postmodern world and a seismic generational shift with the 6 generations active among us. And that leads us into declining mainline churches today. Those churches are the American Baptist Convention, Christian Church Disciples of Christ, Episcopal Church, Evangelical Lutheran Church of America, Presbyterian Church, Reformed Church of America, United Church of Christ, and United Methodist Church. So, if mainline churches are in decline, why not just let them die? Well, there's some basic reasons why you wouldn't want to do that. They hold faith and reason together at a time when the world seems bent on separating the two. Their institutions of higher education engage in education rather than indoctrination. They have a worldview that analyzes reality both in terms of individuals and systems rather than through the lens of radical individualism only. They interpret the scriptures in a way that empowers women, people of color, and other historically marginalized people to participate more fully in the church and the wider culture. Their overseas involvements are marked by partnership with indigenous people rather than by colonialist approaches. Again, in the materials that came with this video, there's additional information that you may want to read about the mainline churches. And so what we're experiencing as a result of all these is what's called congregational drift. And so disciples' congregations and other church structures, regions, general church, and so forth, are now about 3 generations out of whack, still operating to meet the needs of builders and silence, but not the needs of younger generations. For example, most of our congregations feature overly large boards, functional committees, direct democracy, and pastor-centered styles of leadership, all introduced by and for the builder and silent generations. Meeting the needs of younger people doesn't mean the church has to forsake the needs of older people, but it does mean some significant changes that will make us more than just 1 or 2 generation institutions, including utilizing consensus decision-making and a variety of approaches to worship, program, and mission. Thus, as we think about what God is calling the Central Rocky Mountain region to become, we must consider the needs of younger people as well as the needs of older people. Regions tend to be organized in a way that could best be described as pastor-centered. This is offered as a descriptor, not as a judgment. That is, over the years, most of the communication and relationships have been shifting so that it is now almost entirely between the regional minister and some staff and the congregations, with almost nothing transpiring between congregations themselves. As regional staffs have declined along with regional budgets, there have been fewer and fewer regional staff people to maintain these connections, and as a result, there are more and more congregations that have less and less connection with the region, with the rest of the denomination, and with their disciples' heritage. So year after year, 1 or 2 congregations drift out of the circle of committed disciples' congregations and find it easier and easier to go their way. And often, and especially when there is a stressful issue before the church, to leave the denomination altogether. This brings us now to our focus for this video. Where can our vision take us, and how will we get there? Here are some quotes. Bert Danis, in his book Visionary Leadership, says, "A vision is a realistic, credible, attractive future for your organization. It is your articulation of a destination towards which your organization should aim, a future that in important ways is better, more successful, or more desirable than is the present. George Barna, a church pollster and analyst, says, "Vision for ministry is a clear mental image of a preferable future, imparted by God to chosen servants, based upon an accurate understanding of God, self, and circumstances." Now we know change brings conflict, and conflict must be courageously faced. Courage risks failure. Facing failure is part of perseverance. So rely on God. God packages and distributes divine power in ordinary people and churches like ours, who experience difficulties and problems and failures and troubles, but who do not face any of it alone. Now, having viewed this video and read the accompanying material, we ask that you would respond to the following questions. And as you do so, please view these questions as ways of seeking to determine where God is calling or leading us and the results we long to see. And please keep our Central Rocky Mountain region and each of our individual congregations in your prayers through our journeying process together. Here are the questions we'd like you to answer. What do you believe the region is called to continue doing? In other words, what are we doing well? What do you believe the region is called to do differently? What do you believe the region is called to do that is new? And finally, is there anything else you wish the visioning team to know or to think about as we move through this journey of discerning a fresh vision for the region? Thanks for your time and attention.